Here we are with Introduction 1 to the Thomaston Dam. It is a flood control dam. It was built after the 1955 floods here in Connecticut. We have the spillway right over here. That's if it gets so backed up that it's full. We have only seen this actually working once. It has only gotten so full once that I know of, that it came over the spillway. Because the whole idea of this dam is to hold back any water that might flood the valley during heavy rains or any disasters that might occur upriver. There's the spillway down where the spillway would come out. This railroad track used to be commercial. Now it's part of the Naugatuck Valley Railroad, which is a historical group that runs the older trains around for the tourists. And that is the Naugatuck Valley to the south and the Naugatuck Valley to the north. Now we will go over. I always love looking at this area. Now over here is where they back it up. This is the flood control area. It is basically in the heavy rains, and you can see we've had a wet summer this summer. It's probably been backed up a few times, and I haven't been down here because if it was not backed up a few times, that would be all overgrown with very tall weeds. There's the spillway. And all that back there is flood control area. It's also used as recreation area. There's a lot that's done back there. In spots they even allow hunting. That's the control tower where you control the gates that either keep the water in or let the water out. That down there is the Naugatuck River, and you can kind of see, as I get over this way, the tributary where the Lead Mine Brook comes in. And they have it's going to be hard to see on this little camera, and I cannot really zoom in, but they have a thing that goes up the side of this tower where you can tell how much water is backed up. There you are. That is all, and there are times that has been all flooded. And all that, you see where that deep green, that really green is in the back? That's area that has not been flooded this year. But you can see that nothing has been really growing down there because it's probably been flooded and drowned. Now over this side, that down there, and I'm going to show it to you now because if I come down here after it's been backed up, there is where they let the waters out. They close and shut those gates. If you look, you can see that is normal flow that you see coming out of there right now. If you look down right around that little red dot down there, that is normal flow down there. There's a lot of hiking area back there. There's areas for dirt bike trails. If you go down to the end of this dam totally, there's a place where you can take your dirt bikes down. There's a lot of cool stuff back there that is used for recreation, except when they're backing it up with excess waters. Here you can see the floodgates, where the water comes out, and how the Naugatuck River continues on down through. the valley. That's the Naugatuck River Valley. And to the left there, that is more recreational area. And I think there's more private lands over this way. I'm not sure exactly what. I've never been really over that side of the river. And then, looking down again, and over, because we're on the other side now of the control tower, and down in this area is where the dirt bikes are. You can take your dirt bikes down that way. The other side of the river is not for dirt bikes. They have dirt bike trails set up over there, and there's a lot of lovely hiking, as well as people can play on their dirt bikes. So as you can see, there is a lot of room back there for a lot of water. And a lot of recreation. We get down here further, I will turn and we will look back over. Some of this you saw from the other side too. And there is a lot of room. This will hold a lot of water. And if you wonder why this area needs it, all you have to do is Google Connecticut flood of 1955, and you will get some of the historic reason on why this area instituted some really good flood control projects, as well as relocating a lot of highways, because there were several roads down in there, farms. Here you can really see how far back that goes. You see that really bright green back there? That is the same bright green you saw earlier. Big rock down there. I've climbed that rock. That is like a big boulder. Way down there, that little building down there is actually an outhouse, and at the end of there, not too far from that outhouse, is the roads down in, and you can see just by that orange sign, if you kind of look to the top of it and then right, that is actually one of the older roads that was down in that area before the big floods. Now, this is one of the original roads that was here before the 1955 flood, and it comes on down to what is now called the lead mine area. Because right over here, we have the lead mine brook. Now, back in the day, you used to get away with being able to swim down here, but not anymore, because there's been too many injuries and other things. Yes, this is the way it has looked. But now, as we've been talking about it being a wet summer, as you look up the lead mine, you can see how there is a line of where a lot of it is muddy. So that means, yes, this has been backed up a few times, and wherever you see muddy foliage, that area was underwater. This is normal right here. This is the way it should be. This is the way the brook flows, and it's a beautiful area. And back in the 1960s, when you could still swim here, it was fun, but you had to be careful. There were never any lifeguards. The bottom was always iffy. You had to know what you were doing. But there, you can see some of the muddy foliage. And I wanted to come down to this area because, as I said, this was one of the roads of the time. And it went down through there, and up until about 10 years ago, you could go all the way down to just below the dam. But as there has been many times that it has been backed up and so on, the road has become even more unsafe, so they have gated it off. You can still hike down there, you can no longer drive down there. Sometime in the early 2000s, they did this. And this is the lead mine brook. I'll go down here a bit. There's more you can see. This kind of looks like it was underwater too, because this is all dead. So this part here, the water may have come up this bank. And over there, if you look carefully, I think you can see, yes, that's right in there. You should be able to pretty well see that the water came up quite high over there, backed up quite high. And if you see water down here, if you see water lines that high, it meant they had the gates closed because they were protecting the lower Naugatuck Valley. And I am filming this right now so that we have a gauge for normal, because we are supposed to get about 3 to 5 inches this weekend, not this weekend, tomorrow night into Thursday. So, let me see what I see down here. Oh yes, let me come down here a little further. I can see, look over there, you can see the bright green and then the gray green. And I think the gray green is stuff that was covered with water, or at least the roots were. It's actually very beautiful down here. I gotta start spending more time down here again, hiking. That looks like it was broke in the wind. That is a red maple. I love going into raw nature. It has not been put into parks. It has not been put into what man thinks is nature. It is raw nature. The lead mine, as she has been for centuries, before she was called the lead mine. On down this road. As I said, this used to be a regular road. Thomaston was down there, and people would go from Thomaston and they would make a left up there by the bridge and go on up to Torrington. Here you can really see where high water has been through the summer. Why I have always loved this brook ever since I was a kid, my dad would bring us down here, supervised. And you can tell why, because we would be playing on these rocks. Now, part of this is when we were on the dam and looking back to here. If you look back, you will see tree lines and things. And the dam is over on the other side of these trees. And this has, on occasion, I am about 5'2", and I would have been underwater on many occasions over here. So that is why down here, at the beginning of that road that I showed you in the beginning, that I said was the way down, they have a gate, and if that gate is closed, you don't drive down and you hike very cautiously. We will see how much this backs up with the storm that's coming in. Now, we are on the other side of the lead mine. We have gone over the bridge and a little bit around, and we were right over there not too long ago. So, I was lucky. There is a path actually over from the place where they little remote-controlled airplane people work. Well, some of them are not so little. So I just got to make sure to stay on the path, because there's blackberries all through there. There we are. I got off the path. It happens to me a lot. Now, the model airplane area, and I have not been down this way for several years, and they have more gates up than they used to, but they have really improved the area where the model airplane club goes. There's one of the newer gates up there, and we're going to go over this way where we can really see the dam, because I'll show you that bright yellow-green spot that you would see from the dam. This place has a very interesting history as to recreation and how it was used for military training. Nothing disastrous, just training the troops, usually with blanks. We always had to deal with a lot of civilians, so they had to be careful. Now you can see from here, there is the control tower of the dam. So you can see how much area this place really has to fill up. And I'm lucky because I have a little path through here. This has not been really trimmed out this year. All the little blue stem grasses and goldenrods. And lo and behold, there is the dam. So now, yeah, and a lot of bugs. I think I woke the gnats up, so I'm not going to stay here long. But now you have a good portrait of what behind this dam is like.